What's going on, everybody? Blaine Cruse, real estate expert advisor, realtor extraordinaire, and the most electrifying man in real estate. Today, I am going to cover a topic real quick. If you're outside of Texas, some of your terms may be different, so you're just going to have to bear with me. I would definitely suggest you talk to a real estate agent in your area if you have any questions after this video. If you're in Texas, this should apply to you. Keep in mind, however, I am not an attorney. I am a real estate agent. This does not constitute legal advice on what a contract says. If you have any legal questions, definitely consult a competent attorney. But today's video, I am going to talk about exactly what is an execution date and then how do you count days in real estate. And again, this applies to Texas. But it should be similar in whatever state you're in. Again, consult a real estate agent in your state. Execution date. Execution date is the date in which all parties to a contract sign. And this also includes an amendment to the contract and possibly some other documents that you may be signing if you're in the process of buying or selling your house. Now, keep in mind, in real estate, especially once you are under contract to sell your house, time is of the essence. So the date and time that you sign this contract can play a very important role, because all of the once you go under contract, a lot of the items that are required for the buyer and seller to do are based off that execution date. And that ties into how days are counted, because in the contract there are a lot of deadlines that are going to be set, and those have to be done in a timely manner. It could be off calendar days or it could be off business days, depending on which specific item that you're talking about. In most cases, it's going to be calendar days, with the exception of certain items like delivering earnest money to the title company, because they are only open Monday through Friday and they're closed on weekends and holidays. Now, in regards to option money, ordering surveys, and all that other stuff, we are talking about calendar days. So execution date is important when you sign this document. If you are the last person to sign, so you're going to execute the contract, that is where that can be important, because not only when you sign is part of it, when you notify the other party is when it's going to be important as well, because you do not have an executed contract if you cannot notify the other party, or if you do not notify the other party. So execution date is based off of the day you sign, and then it is based off of when the other party is notified. So if, for example, you sign at 9 a.m., you notify them by 10 a.m., that day that you are signing and that notification was done is going to be the execution date. Now, let's say you sign at 11:55 p.m., but the other party does not get notified until 8 a.m. the next day. The next day is the execution date, okay? So just because you sign the contract on one date does not mean that's the execution date. The other part of that is the other party being notified. So that is why, if your real estate agent is having you sign something, it can be very important that you do so in a timely manner. And we understand that sometimes some things happen. You have other appointments. Maybe you're asleep, maybe you have other things going on, maybe you're at work, whatever the case may be, we understand, but it's important to do so in a timely manner. And if you're signing electronically, which is what a lot of agents do these days, it's easy enough. In most cases, you can actually even sign from your phone. So, it can be handled real quickly and in a timely manner, sometimes even if you're out and about. Just depends on what you're doing. It is definitely a lot harder to read what you're signing on your phone, easier on a tablet or a computer, definitely, for sure. But that is what an execution date is. Now, when doing option periods, or if you have the financing period in the third-party financing addendum, maybe you have a deadline for providing a seller's disclosure or a survey or something along those lines, that execution date is going to be important because that is when those deadlines are going to be determined by, and that's going to be by counting the days. Now, to count the days works like this. You have your execution date. That execution date is day 0. That day does not technically count as day, that doesn't count. Okay, that's day 0. That's the execution date. Day 1 is the next day. So the next day is going to be day 1, then the day after that will be day 2, then the day after that will be day 3. So if you have a deadline to provide something on to someone who is, like say the seller's disclosure in 3 days, that next day is day 1. So the day you execute does not count. It's the next day that starts the countdown. So say you sign a contract on August 31st. September 1st would be day 1. September 2nd would be day 2, and September 3rd would be day 3. And that, again, I'm just using that date as an example. It varies. It depends on which day you executed. Because if you execute, say, on September 2nd, then day 1 is September 3rd. And keep in mind, again, not to sound like a communist propaganda guy, but it's not only when you sign, it's when you've notified the other party. That determines the execution date. So, anyways, that's it. Quick and dirty. Under 7 minutes. Excellent. I'm a talker, so that's pretty good. Anyways, if you have any questions, if you're outside of Texas, feel free to contact a real estate agent or an attorney to answer those questions for you. If you're in Texas, especially the greater Houston area, I can certainly answer any questions for you because I know all about Texas. At any rate, take care, and I look forward to helping you in the future.